It is hard to believe that in just over a month we'll see the release of Command & Conquer Remastered Collection, and since its massive media blowout in March, there hasn't really been any news about this game. That is until today. RedTieGuy here, and recently some media outlets posted previews of Command & Conquer Remastered Collection as they participated in a virtual roundtable with lead producer Jim Vasella. And reading through all of the articles, a lot of the information we already know, but there are some new facts. The following information comes from ScreenRant.com, and I will leave a link of that article in the description below, so I highly recommend you guys check out the full article. But if you've just found out about the Command & Conquer Remastered Collection, then here are 60 facts about the game. It includes two games, the original Command & Conquer known as Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert, and their expansion packs bundled together for $19.99. There are no DLC add-ons or microtransactions. Yes, no microtransactions. Everything is included in Command & Conquer Remastered, and it's coming to Steam as well as EA's Origin platform. The release is timed with the 25th anniversary of Command & Conquer. Petroglyph Games, based out of Las Vegas, is helping develop the game and includes some of the original developers from original developers Westwood Studios. They're handling tech and design, and they've partnered with Lemon Sky Studios, who are doing the art. They worked on StarCraft Remastered. Command & Conquer Remastered was rebuilt at 4K. Over 7 hours of music was remastered for the collection. The project was announced before developing it in November of 2018 on Reddit in fact. They launched by starting with fan feedback to shape their focus. There's a community council formed of the 14 top fans, from modders and redditors to shoutcasters. They've been involved with most decisions and are in Discord with 24/7 access to the dev team, who they speak with literally every day. The community helped point out code bugs, an example being a range of certain vehicle being out of whack vertically because of an environmental object. They know the game better than anyone else. EA is also working with fans on content. There's a Tiberian Sons band, for example, who were hired to come in and record in studio to get 20 tracks in the collection at no extra cost. The game's box design is inspired by a fan-made box design shared a few weeks after the announcement for the remaster, so they worked with that designer. Command & Conquer Remastered's multiplayer has been modernized with quick play options, dedicated servers, leaderboards, new UI, etc. Cheats will not be formally in the game. Players have new gameplay options. Instead of causing a debate over what control options are available, left click versus right click, or allowing unit queuing, the game provides both options, legacy versus modern control options. For example, in quick play, unit queuing is on by default. Players can choose their music too. Choose classic, remastered, or bonus. Players can customize hotkeys in-game instead of doing that in Windows. The original voice talent playing Command & Conquer, announcer Ava, came into the studio to re-record all her lines in high definition. For cutscenes, they went to the original archives but couldn't find raw files. So they had to work with community to craft an algorithm using AI upscaling. Subtitles have been added to cinematics in up to 8 languages. The game is built off of recovered old source code, effectively 320 by 200 graphics from DOS mode. Players can zoom in and out, which is the first in the franchise. Players can switch in real time between original and remastered graphics. The goal of the remaster was to maintain the original game's 2D style. Unit balance is kept very true to the original games. Command & Conquer's Remastered supports 1440p and 4K. All VFX, icons and animations were recreated in 4K from the dev teams at Petroglyph and Lemon Sky. One of the most challenging elements of developing the remaster was handling the terrain, which is comprised of thousands of different tiles, where back in the 90s the devs could just overlap stuff because it was blurry and not noticeable. Modernizing that but keeping it usable from a dev standpoint and realistic between legacy and remastered modes was tough. Making the water look right was also very challenging for the remaster. The most challenging unit to redesign was the Orca, and the teams iterated on it for months due to the 32 angles required and weird perspectives. The iconic units were the toughest to get right for the art teams. In the original DOS version of the game, Einstein wore a lab coat. In the Windows 95 code, he was in professor garb instead, so they went for that for the remaster. Post-mission stats are back and more info has been added for speedrunners. Command & Conquer Remastered adds a bonus gallery unlock where behind-the-scenes content is earned for every mission completed. Some of this bonus content is footage from old beta cam tapes that had never been digitized before, showing players how the old FMVs was originally captured. You'll be able to see Kane actor Joseph T. Coogan, who directed all the cinematics, doing his thing. Original FMV cinematics were hyper-compressed at 320x200 resolution. To make those work in 4K was quite an achievement. The developers got Joe Coogan's blessing on the cinematic and bonus content. He's still running a theater company in Las Vegas. Original composer and sound director Frank Lepacki is heavily involved with the project and discovered unreleased music tracks and behind-the-scene photos of team members to include. EA is talking to the community members and groups to plan something for launch to see if they can put on casual tournaments in that release window. If there's a strong online presence, they may do more official stuff. If unit queuing option and hotkey change balance of the game, they may have to change balancing post-launch. The explosions on scene on the sides of the menu are back from the original game, but in an unexpected way. One of the community members found the vendor who owned the stock footage and forwarded this into the developers. EA reached out and the vendor had HD footage of the same explosion, so they licensed it to use it, and it plays frame for frame just like the original game. A good example of how working with fans get these little details in. A mission select option is now available, so players don't have to worry about losing a save game or progress like in the original game. There are tabs for GDI and NOD campaigns, covert missions, and now they've also added the console missions from the N64 and PS1 so they can be played for the first time on the PC. The original Command & Conquer didn't have difficulty levels, so they brought that tech from Red Alert and added it to Tiberian Dawn. The jukebox is back and it got a full facelift where players can customize playlists from over 200 tracks across 7 hours of music in addition to the original stuff. Players can listen to Red Alert music within Tiberian Dawn or vice versa. One of the first and biggest feedback points from the community is that they universally want the sidebar overhauled, bringing in the UI options from Red Alert and sequels so that more modern stuff was added to Tiberian Dawn sidebar. This gives many more options and tooltips for players and represents one of the bigger actual changes to the original game. The original interface is not an option. It was too archaic and it had to be rebuilt from scratch, and they felt from community responses players wouldn't use it anyway. When EA met with Petroglyph, given the anniversary and their origins, it made sense to start with Tiberian Dawn, and then they realized there are so many people passionate about Red Alert, so they decided to do that as well and kept adding to each. Yes, the infamous Ant missions are included. General Carvel's amazing introduction to the Ants mission, one of the dev's favorite cinematics, is included as well. The map editor comes back for both games, built from scratch by Petroglyph. For the map editor, this was something the community kept bringing up in the monthly Reddit updates, so halfway through development, EA decided to do the map editor even though it wasn't originally part of the plan. Skirmish and multiplayer match and scripting behavior for single player campaign maps, so they can share these in an easier way, a button in-game that lets you download maps people have uploaded to the servers. Fun fact, Red Alert originally started as an expansion back for Command & Conquer, but it was so different and made so many advantages it became its own game. Frank Lepacki revealed that the words in the iconic Hell March track are just gibberish. The team colors were redone for multiplayer to make them more vibrant, since the old colors weren't very readable in high definition. This is something they worked with the community on to land on 8 colors. There are no plans yet for follow-ups or expansions. EA needs to see how this one performs and how audience responds. EA hopes the quality of life improvements help bring in new, younger gamers into the classic RTS genre. The Remastered collection is only PC for now. There's no word on whether this comes to PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Devs love the process of working with community from the get-go on a classic product, and they definitely want to do this again in the future. The focus is on quality and goal is to make long-time fans happy, not some sales figures. That's how Jim Vasella defines success. That was 60 facts of Command & Conquer Remastered Collection, and it took me quite a while to read and reread some of them, especially the fact where Frank Klepacki said the words for Hell March are just gibberish. I laughed out loud when I read that, but nevertheless that is quite a lot of information, and I will list all of the articles in the description if you want to read them for yourself, and I hope that we will receive some news regarding the Remastered collection pretty soon. Maybe a launch trailer, maybe some devs playthrough on a live stream or something like that. I would love to see that on live stream, some of the developers playing it. But nevertheless, the game is launching in just over a month. So if there's anything specific you want to know about this Remastered collection, then let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer it to the best of my abilities. For more Command & Conquer Remastered news, check out the rest of my channel, but until then I will leave you with the green screen of Joe Coogan aka Kane reading some of his lines in Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn.
Kane end 1, scene 1, take 1.
Your efforts have landed us here, my faithful friend. Cut.
Play it. Kane end 1, scene 1, take 2.
Yeah, right in front of my face.
Action.
Your efforts have landed us here, my faithful friend. My temple is complete, and we are about to embark upon our greatest exploit. For now, relax, and watch as my netrunners dance through the web of cyberspace. Once inside, the world is at my fingertips. Begin.